Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope you are doing well. Today I'd like to present to you the responsibility of the accounting analysis in PT Metrodata Electronics Tbk. My name is Wira Natanael Uli. I am a student of Master Business Administration at Institut Teknologi Bandung, and this is part of my final exam of accounting with the lecturer, the one and only Dr. Erman Sumirat. So first I'd like to introduce you to PT Metrodata Electronics Tbk. Established in 1975, it is a public company who engage in the information communication and technology business and is one of the leading companies in the field in Indonesia. The company's IPO was in 1990 and have been building strategic alliances with world-class ICT company for more than 50 years. The company apply business to business model with two businesses unit, which are the distribution to distribute to the partner dealers and ICT solution companies, and the second is solution and consulting business unit, which is the digital solution provider to help companies achieving digital transformation. This is the vision of the company, which is becoming the most trusted digital technology provider, supported by three mission and the corporate value, which is an excellent company that will lasting into the future, is one that has integrity, professional and entrepreneurial human resources. Next, to support its the business units, the company or the group company has three subsidiaries as well as the one associates or the shared company. The subsidiaries consist of PT Mitra Integrasi Informatika, PT Solidius Indonesia, and PT Sinex Metrodata Indonesia, and the shared company is the PSI or Packet System Indonesia. So the shareholder composition consists of PT Ciputra Corpora with 35.8%, the highest percentage of the shareholder in this company, and the next is the general public with 30.8%. Next is the key financial highlight in the first half of 2021. To be highlighted, first is the net profit, which is increased significantly by 55.6% year on year to 242 billion. And next is the net revenue, as the demand for the product increased 23.5% year on year to 7 trillion. And the next is total assets, which increased to 6 trillion or around 13.2% year on year. And the last is total equity, which increased up to 2.4 billion rupiah. Next, we will discuss about the responsibility accounting. Responsibility accounting is a system that measures the plans, budgets, action, and actual results of each responsibility center. Responsibility center consists of four types, which are cost center, revenue center, profit center, and investment center. Cost center is a type of responsibility center whose manager for this is responsible only for costs. The manager of cost center has control over cost, but not over revenue or the use of investment funds. Next, we can see first the total cost. I created two types, which is with or without, with and without the cost of revenue. For the total cost with, including the cost of revenue, we could see yearly there is a decrease from 2019 to 2020. This is due to the COVID pandemic 19 and that this is due to the COVID-19 pandemic that created a scarcity for the products, especially for the uh, especially for the hardware one. But in 2021, as we can see per second quarter, there is an increase, significant increase in the revenue that show the high demand again for the products from the customer because the new habit for the COVID-19 You can see also the composition of the total cost both yearly and per second quarterly. And this is the composition of the cost of revenue. The cost of revenue in 2021 increased by 23.7%, which is contributed mostly by the increase of the hardware and the software due to the increase of the demand for this product as the global shift in behavior to be more virtual in doing activities such as work from home and school from home. And next, this is, as we know, that the cost of revenue were compensated mostly by cash receipt. So to see the expense in operating, I separated those costs, and this is the operating cost with the finance cost. As we can see, there is an increase in operating costs from 2021 to 2021, but there is a decrease in the finance cost from 2020 to 2021. For the operating costs, we can see that the operating expenses and finance costs are greater in solution and consultation unit. The increase of the cost for the operation in solution and consulting unit happened in 2021 as it contribute up to 80% of the total costs as the effect of the pandemic, which forced the enterprises to adapt advanced technology to be more integrated on their system. This caused an increase for the demand for better Metrodata electronics in solution and consulting business unit. Next is revenue center. Revenue center is a type of responsibility center whose manager for this is responsible only for the revenue with a little control over cost. This center could be assessed through looking into the net revenue of the company as well as the deeper look into the segment contribution for the revenue. So the revenue in second quarter of 2021 is increasing by 23.5 year-on-year to 7.6 trillion rupiah. From past 3 years, the revenue decreased in 2020 to 14 trillion due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which made the scarcity in hardware such as a notebook. As the high demand on the technology products and a need for enterprises to be more integrated in their system, it generated an increase in demand for solution and consulting unit PT Metrodata in PT Metrodata Electronics Tbk. As can be observed from the chart, there is a slight increase in the revenue contribution from solution and consulting segment. This trend continues in 2021, where the contribution of solution and consulting units still increased compared to in 2019, although it is decreased compared to 2020. Besides, the scarcity of the products, especially in hardware, followed by the high demand from the customers, provide a room for the company to set the sale price for the product, which became the key for the increase in the net revenue. Next is a profit center. The manager of a profit center has control over both cost and revenue, but not over the use of investment funds. This can be evaluated through the margin of the gross profit, operating profit, and net profit. The evaluation compares the profit generated to the net revenue. Thus, this profit margin also describes about the effectivity of the cost in generating the profit from the revenue. Okay, we can see the yearly from 2018 until 2020. The margin for gross margin, operating margin, and net margin are increasing. To be highlighted highlighted in 2021, although there is a decrease on its revenue, but the gross profit margin still increasing, indicating the effective selling price by the company as well as the operating margin, which shows the effectivity in the operating cost to generate the profit. The net margin that used to analyze the stability of the company, which indicates the positive correlation to the productivity, also shows an increase for the last 3 years, showing the efficiency of the company. Next, for the second quarter of 2021, there is a slight decrease for the gross margin. This is because the high this is because the increase in the cost of goods sold in 2021. In 2000, the net margin in 2021 first 3 months increased by 0.46% due to the increase of its net profit more than 50%, shows an efficient on the company's operating costs this year compared to its net revenue. Next is about the investment center. The manager of investment center has control over cost, revenue, and investment in operating assets. The investment center is evaluated by ROE, or return of equity, return of assets, and return of investment. So to begin with, we see the trend for the past 3 years yearly return on equity, which show that the company could convert the equity into the net profit. But in 2020, there is a impact of the COVID-19, which create a decrease on ROE, ROA, and ROI. This is because the company also tried to boost its assets and the high increase of its equity in 2020 due to the pandemic COVID-19. But in 2021, as the first half of this year, we could see that it is increased almost significantly, bouncing back to the first on track in the from the 2019. We can see that all of the ROE, ROA, and ROI are increasing, showing that the company has an efficient in converting their equity into their profit, as well as the asset to the profit, as well as the operating income to be more profitable to the company. Next, so from the responsibility centers, I can conclude that PT Metrodata Electronic Tbk in 2021 created an incredible performance, although it is still in a pandemic COVID-19 situation. The increase of revenue in distribution, showing that the needs for the technology products getting bigger and bigger. Also, the special price implemented by the company bring the revenue to the higher level in 2021. The increase of the revenue in solution and consulting segment in 2020 still growing in 2021 as the company leveraging the situation of enterprises to adapt the integration data system. PT Metrodata Electronics Tbk had an efficient cost in operation as the margin are increasing compared to 2020. Okay, that's all for the presentation. Thank you. Salam cuan.